And here come the Gators, a police escort, as they head up to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium for that big matchup with the top 10 Auburn Tigers. Hello! Welcome to Action Sports Jax. Primetime Hicken here. Weber in Gainesville. Martineau with the Jags in Charlotte. Woo! We're talking big tonight about Florida and Auburn, right? Concepts and rationalizations about both orange and blues playing in the swamp. In fact, why don't we get it started with some highlights right off the rip. Here come the Gators. Kyle Trask, Freddie Swain, a linebacker matched up on Swain, splits the defenders and goes 64 yards, touchdown. Gators take it early, 7-0 lead. The one thing that plagued Florida, turnovers by Trask, and they weren't interceptions, they were fumbles. This one could have been deadly. The big fella huffing and puffing and huffing. Turf monster, turf monster, turf monster. Oh, no! He fell down. Thank goodness. Trask, while he turned it over 4 times with fumbles, also threw a couple touchdown passes. This one to Hammond. Nice little smash route. Goes into the end zone for the touchdown. Florida up 14-6. Look, scary moment for the Gators. First half. Trask back to pass. Forsythe the tackle. Can't quite handle number 3. Oh, that knee extended out. Trask said he heard something pop, and he thought it was over. But it wasn't. It was over for Bo Nix and the Auburn offense. 3rd and 8 in field goal range. Freshman boo-boo. 22-yard loss. You can't do that. Gators 17-13. They needed a score, though. They needed one more score. And how about Michael Pirine breaking a tackle? All right, I'll get 10. Oh, Pirine down the sideline. Auburn didn't recruit him because they said he didn't have top-end speed. Nobody's going to catch him. There he goes, 88 yards for the score. And the Gators cinch it as Pirine gets it done. Florida wins 6-0, 24-13. Impressive win. Now 10 straight for Florida, 16-3 under Mullen. Bo Nix, 11 of 27, 3 interceptions. The curse of Nix in Gainesville has been lifted, finally. And Freddie Swain, what a game, 6 catches for 146 yards. You know who's got more? Stuart Weber does. Let's go to Stuart right now in Gainesville with more on the Gators' big day.
You almost had that here we go again moment at the Swamp in Gainesville. Remember, it was Felipe Franks who went down earlier in this year, forcing Kyle Trask to have to become that new starting quarterback for Dan Mullen and the Florida Gators. Fortunately, this time, Trask was able to come back after a quick trip to the doctors here inside Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Now, give Emory Jones some credit, the youngster able to pick up the slack in his stead. But man, when Kyle Trask came back out onto the field, it gave this team a boost, and the Florida Gators go on to get an 11-point win over Auburn.
It was an amazing feeling. Our fans, they're the best in the country, and to go back out there and finish the game for our team, it felt really good.
I think he's waited this long. He wasn't going to miss that opportunity. He wasn't going to let that slip away. Maybe he watched Emory go in there whipping the ball around and said, I better get back out. I don't know, must have a TV in the training room or something.
It's pretty tight, all of us, with all the quarterbacks. So we just we didn't want another quarterback hurt. We was pretty upset about that. But when he came back, we were happy.
I think a lot of us were just proud of him, for being tough. He was hurt. And to come back in a tough game like this, it just shows what kind of character he has.
I was honestly didn't know what I was about to hear, I was kind of ready to hear the worst, I guess, because it's probably why I was so emotional. But, like I said, I'm just so grateful the way it turned out.
All the emotions that had to be going through Kyle Trask's head, not only having seen his fellow quarterback Felipe Franks go down earlier this year, but then just to always think right to the worst. Could this be the end of that opportunity that I waited 7 years for? Well, it's not the end. Kyle Trask came back into the game, and after I'm sure will be a good amount of treatment this week, he will head to Baton Rouge with the Gators next week as they take on LSU. At the Swamp in Gainesville, Stuart Weber, Action Sports Jax.
All right, so most of the experts on board with Auburn in this one, right? It sort of made sense, but they don't understand Swamp magic, do they? A true freshman quarterback coming into the Swamp against one of the best defenses in the nation. Listen, I'm sure Dan Mullen played that no respect card to his team this week, as in, even when you guys win, the pollsters drop you. That happened twice this year so far. Nobody thinks you're any good. We only have a backup quarterback. Meanwhile, Auburn rolls through its first 5, hammering Jimbo and A&M, paying back Mississippi State for a year ago, beating Oregon. No way would Florida hold up in the trenches, they said. And let me be clear, Auburn is a really good football team. But maybe, just maybe, so too is Florida, right? And how about Dan Mullen? Franks, Trask, Jones. He has had to use all three quarterbacks this season in important times because of injury, and they haven't flinched. Play calling today, good again. And now the Gators, with their second-year coach, have 10 wins in a row, a 16-3 record since he took over the program. Will Florida win them all this season? I don't think so. But don't they deserve an invite to the big boy table with Georgia, Bama, and LSU, at least for now? I think that's all that they're asking. All right, the Horschels. Billy and his lovely wife, little 2 bits. Jacksonville residents. Gotta love it. Gotta be a thrill for both of those Gator grads. Back with more after this.
Hi, I'm Corey Brewer, former Gator.
The Gators, as good as it gets.
And you're watching Action Sports Jax.
Up top, 4-man rush. Nix to the end zone. Intercepted by Florida. And it's Donovan Steiner, and he threw it right to him.
Oh, Gus. Big play by Donovan Steiner. Big plays by the Gator defense throughout the afternoon. I can't tell you how good they played football today, considering what Auburn did to Mississippi State just 1 week ago. We're back on Action Sports Jax Primetime. Florida big winners over Auburn, 24-13. In 4 home games, the Gators defense has allowed 16 points. 2 shutouts, 3 to Tennessee, 13 today. Wow, what a performance by, and maybe today was their best performance, or it was, because of the opposition, right? They came into the game giving up 8.8 points per game, second in the nation in sacks. They also added a bunch of takeaways as well. And Stuart Weber has more on the defense from Gainesville.
The Florida Gators defense doing everything it could to limit freshman quarterback Bo Nix and the Auburn Tigers offense, an offense that, by the way, looked pretty darn good against Mississippi State 1 week ago. The best part is the only points allowed by this Gators defense coming on the short field. 2 turnovers, as well as the turnover on downs on the ill-fated fake punt attempt by Tommy Townsend. You got to give credit to this Gators defense for standing up when it needed to and preventing Auburn from putting together any sort of sustained drive on offense.
Todd, his staff, the defensive guys, grinding, straining, getting to the football as hard as they can every play. That's the type of defense we expect to play around here. Really proud of those guys. They gave up 1 score, and that was on me. You know, if I don't fake the punt, they probably don't give up a touchdown.
We had a great performance. I think it was just from our preparation this week, we were working really hard. I think everyone was on the same page out there today, and I think it came up big for us.
I think it's important because, you know, when they get a stop or they make a big play, that just gives us more energy to, we want to go down and score, and not for them to make a play for no reason, for us to go down and score in the red zone or something like that.
A lot of people doubted us and stuff. You know, everyone said that we were overrated and stuff. I think that we just proved that our record speaks for itself.
They're great players, made some dominating plays. But, I mean, it's hard to look at the stat line and say that Auburn dominated the line of scrimmage tonight. And, you know, I'm really proud, you know, of our defense, especially on the, you know, with our defensive line, held them to 124 yards rushing, right? So, I mean, under 200, what do they have, 269 total yards?
Yet another task awaits for the Gators D. Joe Burrows has been lighting up defenses all year long. Well, now he has a test as the Florida Gators head to Baton Rouge next week under the lights. Oh, that's going to be a good one. Can't wait for that game. At the Swamp in Gainesville, Stuart Weber, Action Sports Jax.
The fellas were amped up today in the Swamp, man. 90,500 plus packed the Swamp. It was like the days of old. Dan Mullen said it's the way it should be and the way it's going to be from here on out. Not bad at all.
Action Sports Jax Primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.